model is simply this. Provide a free service, like Facebook, and in exchange you collect the data of the millions who use it. And every sliver of information is valuable.
It's not just what you post, it's that you post. It's not just that you make plans to see your friends later. It's whether you say, I'll see you later, or I'll see you at 6:45. It's not just that you talk about the things that you have to do today. It's whether you simply rattle them on in a rambling paragraph or list them as bullet points. All of these tiny signals are the behavioral surplus that turns out to have immense predictive value.
In 2010, Facebook experimented with AI's predictive powers in what they called a social contagion experiment. They wanted to see if, through online messaging, they could influence real-world behavior. The aim was to get more people to the polls in the 2010 midterm elections.
Cleveland, I need you to keep on fighting. I need you to keep on believing.
They offered 61 million users an I voted button, together with faces of friends who had voted. A subset of users received just the button. In the end, they claimed to have nudged 340,000 people to vote. They would conduct other massive contagion experiments. Among them, one showing that by adjusting their feeds, they could make users happy or sad.
When they went to write up these findings, they boasted about two things. One was, oh my goodness, now we know that we can use cues in the online environment to change real-world behavior. That's big news. The second thing that they understood and they celebrated was that we can do this in a way that bypasses the user's awareness.
Private corporations have built a corporate surveillance state without our awareness or permission. And the systems necessary to make it work are getting a lot better, specifically with what are known as Internet of Things, smart appliances, powered by the Alexa voice recognition system or the Google Home system.
Most people's experience of combat wounds is from the movies. A soldier gets hit, his guts spilling out, and he looks down at them screaming in horror. But this is not the way it is. In reality, truly bad injuries sap your energy and prevent you from screaming. Instead, the sound a wounded man makes is a much deeper, more visceral, emanating from the depths of his being. It's a groan, a cry, a moaning that reeks of utter desperation. It is far worse than a scream. It is true pain manifested in the sound.
88% of the companies on S&P 500, 88% of them, the largest shareholder of those companies is either State Street, BlackRock, or Vanguard. If you Google the largest shareholder for Raytheon, 3 out of the 4 top shareholders of Raytheon, BlackRock, State Street, and Vanguard. If you go look up General Dynamics, if you go look up Boeing, if you go look up, Northrop Grumman, we gave more money to Ukraine than Russia spent on their military last year. And when you look at these contracts, then you're like, okay, Fink is there, these guys are there. Okay, let's go look at Hollywood. Same thing you see there. Let's go look at pharmaceutical. Let's go look at this. And you're like, wait a minute. Only 2 countries have a bigger GDP than what BlackRock has, assets under management. US and China. That's how big BlackRock is. So then they went and they started getting all these other guys to sign on and say, hey, we want you to participate with the same thing as well with ESG. And they ended up having, I think they had 31 signers. I think end of 2022, they got 60 something signers for a total of $70 trillion of assets under management that they're controlling. So, and just recently, if you saw the rebuilding of Ukraine. Did you see this contract? Rebuilding of Ukraine, $400 billion contract. BlackRock and Chase is helping rebuild Ukraine. So Dylan Mulvaney, who cares? You got the DEI, the HRC, the human rights, and all this stuff. And then you go even deeper, which is even the crazier part, with, the education, schools. Like, the biggest union we have in America, I think it's National Education something. NEA is the largest union we have. 3 million teachers are part of that union. What the hell is going on here?